You can see we're back with the anchor of the Daily Report with John Dickerson from CBS News. It's Mr. John Dickerson. John Dickerson, we learned, a lot about Kamala Harris tonight. As you said, there was a lot the audience didn't know. 28% of Americans wanted to learn more. We've been with Donald Trump pretty consistently for 9 years now. Is there more we learned tonight? Like, what is there left for us to have learned about Donald Trump?
Well, that's the right question. There isn't. What are debates for? Debates... No, but I mean...
You can stop right there and just say it was the right question. That's all I wanted.
That's
was
right.
approval.
I know, exactly. That's why I come on the show and tell you how great your questions are. It's a very good relationship. What are debates for? They are an approximation, a pretty distant approximation of what the job might be like. It's a serious moment when they are asked, good questions about what they would do in the job, and you get some idea. We know what Donald Trump would be like in the job because he has been in the job. Secondarily, unlike previous presidents who run as incumbents, you have people from within the Trump administration, many of whom spoke under oath about how he performed in that job. So, in a sense, you don't need a debate to know how he will behave in office because you have all the time he behaved in office. Now, what was displayed in that debate? I think one of the things compared to his previous debate performances, first of all, he cannot get past the crowd size thing. And if you're always trying to think, what did you learn about in the debate that goes to the presidency? If you cannot withstand being taunted about crowd size, if you are just incapable of not taking that bait, you lack some ability to control your passions. And that's not something you want in a presidency, which is all about basically acting both with dispatch, but also a lot of times with restraint.
The Harris campaign knew that he couldn't resist it. They had billboards up around Philly and ads showing two pretzels, Harris pretzel and a Trump pretzel, saying, "Crowd size matters," with a Philly soft pretzel.
And this is juvenile, except that he showed again that he's obsessed with that. So I think that just reinforced crowd size doesn't matter per se, except that it's a thing that it would have been in his advantage to blow off and move on and say what he said at his very, very end of the remarks in his closing statement, where he said, you've got all these plans. Why didn't you do it when you were in office? He waited all the way to the end of the debate to say that. When he debated Hillary Clinton, he said that in his first answer. And he was relentless in making that case. In other words, you've been in politics, he said to Hillary Clinton, 30 years. Why haven't you done all these things? Which is because it gets to phoniness. It deflates whatever plans the opponent. But in this case, he left it at the end and spent all this time talking about crowd sizes and pets and some of these other diversions.
We only have a minute before we have to go to our next break, but how did you think that she dealt with the other sort of problem with Donald Trump, was what you've called the Gatling gun of lies? How do you think she did against the onslaught of the falsehoods?
I think she was judicious. The problem with the Gatling gun is you try to knock off each one and then your time's up and you didn't get to say what you were going to say. Mm-hmm. She did two things. She was judicious in what she fact-checked. The moderators fact-checked judiciously themselves on things that were just bloomers, that were just obviously lies. And then the third thing she did was a lot of times she ignored the questions and just said what she wanted to say, which was a way of getting across what she wanted to get across. I mean, she ignored the first question of the debate, which was, are people better off than they were 4 years ago? She just went right to her policies, which, we'll see if voters bother about that. But I think that was sort of the three-pronged way she got around this problem of being kind of pinned down by lies.
We have to take one more break here. We'll be right back with more John Dickerson, everybody.